I was never assigned to the Three Moons Initiative, but I had at least some idea of what they were supposed to be. There's some kind of interdimensional human empire that colonized the afterlife. Penny's dad was in charge of keeping tabs on them for the Foundation, but some people say that it also worked the other way around. In any case, the initiative had the nasty habit of leaving their space junk over our world for their little military contingency plans, which we'd then have to contain. So, while the Seneschal had his way with everything south of the Mason-Dixon, it was hardly surprising that the Initiative had a spare superweapon we could use against him, the Piper system. Here's the shortest possible explanation. The Piper particle is something so secretive that not even the Initiative's spider god knows how it works. Piper itself is an acronym for something in the language of Corbinese magic. The full form of the acronym is 5,384 characters long, and I'd need 3 extra tongues to pronounce it properly. Basically, there was a point a few thousand years ago when this pile of worms called Theseus tried to convert the entire afterlife into an expansion of its own hive mind. The 8 god princes of Corbenic put the kibosh on that pretty quickly, leaving only one tiny little remnant of the invading force still functional. A worm, about 1 centimeter long. Three Moon scientists cut that worm open, discovering it contained its own pocket dimension full of. The word is somewhere between data storage and pineal gland. And several thousand prototypes later, they reverse engineered alien worm with its own pocket dimensional quantum brain into artificial molecule with its own pocket dimensional server room. The result is the Piper particle, a nanomachine that completely defies the laws of thermodynamics. The molecules can change matter into other types of matter, with no expensive energy, at the whim of a controller at the central console. The only caveat is that any mental weakness on the part of the controller results in spreading, uncontrollable, and senseless conversion of matter, an NK class gray goo scenario. Three Moons, to the surprise of no one, uses the Piper system exclusively to make weapons. Most notably, they used it to build a railgun the size of Chile to end a war with Prince Vuo of the Merc, whoever that is. That's what Piper system does in Corbenic, and Three Moons is fiercely protective of it. But just in case we need it, every iteration of Earth under Initiative Protection has its own version of Piper, which can be activated with that emergency key phrase that Dr. Naismith left with his daughter. Unfortunately, this dormant nanotechnological god computer was under the protection of Vajraya AIC, better known as Partial Log, VCAT's December 20th Twitch stream. Starting soon title card of VCAT excitedly giving Pepto-Bismol to a visibly nauseous Jotaro Kujo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Before we begin, I just want to let y'all know that all of the proceeds from donations during the stream are going to the Sacred Cross of Peter Foundation to help the literal millions of people who have been displaced by the SCP-20922 event in the American South. Now, don't get me wrong, this kind of whiny current eventsy stuff is 900% small potatoes compared to the fact that we still haven't seen a realistic depiction of diarrhea in a Squeenix game, you cowards. But hey, no one can animate that if everyone's dead, am I right? So yes, by all means, absolutely fork over some cash to the refugees so that they can one day owe me a cutscene of Cloud Strife dealing with some real issues for a change. Bonus points if it's a QTE. The upper half of an animated version of VCAT appears on the right side of the screen, over the character creation screen of Dark Souls 3. Hello there, fellow Ashen Ones. It's your boy VCAT, coming at you live with Edition V of Dark Souls 3. Jesus. That needs a bit of background, doesn't it? Okay, I know I said I'd be streaming a FromSoft game today, and don't get me wrong, that's still on the agenda. But a couple of weeks back, after going over the mechanics of the game itself, the whole thing just felt inappropriate. So I kinda, sorta, maybe forced a few dozen game design majors to make me this mod with 200 brand new status ailments and 20 new elemental affinities. Oh, and there's even a few new classes. He picks the leper class. Eee! They actually took my suggestion. Those madmen. Let's see. You start off with a negative 20 strength. That checks out. -1 vitality. Hang on. User P. Naismith starts spamming the chat on the side with the same message over and over again. Okay, Pun Naismith. Loving this energy. But spamming's against the mean old rules. Cut it out. Another message from P. Naismith. It's an emergency. Read it. Yeah, cool, great. We're all very proud of you that you learned how to type helper and healer. I cheer small wifes in the... His avatar freezes for approximately 17 seconds. He speaks again with a notably less cutesy tone. Emergency Protocol 7A active. Junior Researcher Penny Naismith. As giver of the emergency reinitialization key phrase, you have been designated primary admin of the Piper system. Coordinates locked. You and other members of your organization will join me on site in approximately 2 minutes. Please remove anything containing copper from your person, including jewelry. We'll be right back. Title card with a picture of Sora from Kingdom Hearts going into anaphylaxis. Security Camera 16 footage. 3 Moons Initiative HDC Installation C9F Teleportation Bay 1. Time 1805 CST. Begin log. The floor is a grid of 25 2x2 meter squares divided by yellow paint and warning signs. In a flash of arcing plasma, junior researcher Penny Naismith materializes in one screaming with pain. She gets back up, panting. Shit. Wasn't expecting it to hurt that much. A familiar voice sounds over the intercom. That is because you are wearing a ring that contained copper, which reacts adversely to this kind of teleportation. She checks her right index finger, which is now missing, and has been sutured shut with molten copper. The one day I remember to put on my class ring. Dr. Madeline Henderson, dressed in a bright violet lab coat despite regulations, materializes in an adjoining square. Penny? Right here. Oh, thank fuck. They hug. Edmund Naismith. I would like to personally thank you for giving me the reinitialization key phrase. After analysis, I have concluded that this highly destructive VCAT persona I developed was the result of malicious data being uploaded to my mainframe by a third party who wished to bypass my primary weapon. Investigation ongoing. A tiny, black SD card falls out of the ceiling next to Dr. Henderson, who picks it up. Here, I have jettisoned VCAT's personality data for storage purposes. His subscribers will be disappointed if he is not preserved. Any questions before we get started? Yeah, I've got one. What the hell did you do to her finger? Admin. Yo, would you like to order me to reconstruct your finger? I guess? A small cloud of gray, iridescent vapor swirls over Penny's right hand. It coalesces into a new index finger. The warped blot of copper falls onto the floor. Penny moves her new finger. Does it hurt? Not anymore. That was the Piper system. As admin, it now follows your commands, and yours alone. Receiving Foundation 05 Council. Stand by. 051 through -13 appear in 13 of the squares. Only 10 of them have survived. 054's lower abdomen has been torn apart by molten keys and pennies. 057 has died from her copper necklace phasing through her brain. A molten copper paperweight has torn a hole through 059's chest. I could not have been more explicit. Okay, one side comment aside from the narration. Is copper jewelry more common than I know as like a dude who doesn't wear jewelry? Is copper in everything? Because when I think of copper, I think of like fucking like video games like copper ore in World of Warcraft or like I don't know, Minecraft or something. I didn't think that copper was like, you know, everywhere in the jewelry world for it to kill like 3 people during this teleportation thing. Anyway, item SCP-7578, SCP-001, object class Sampo. Special containment procedures. Research is underway to see how SCP-001 can be best implemented to neutralize SCP-20922. Controlled seeding of unpopulated areas of Nunavut, the Pacific Ocean, and the Gobi Desert with Piper molecules is estimated to be complete by January 27th. As of January 15th, 2048, SCP-001 has been staffed as follows. Dr. Jean Michaud, Site Director, Liaison to the Administrator of the Foundation. Notes: Former 0511. Vajranaya AIC, On-Site AI Construct Operational Interface, originally created by the Three Moons Initiative. Junior Researcher, Penny Naismith, Operator of SCP-001. Vajranaya AIC refers to Naismith as the primary admin and will only respond to orders from her. Dr. Madeline Henderson, Science Officer, experienced with nanotechnological anomalies. Dr. Flora Nguyen, Medical Officer, former staff member of SCP-8002. Junior Researcher Ethan Krunkle, Technician, Dr. Henderson's assistant from Site-59. Dr. Randall Montauk, Strategic Advisor, Head Researcher of Anomalies Pertaining to the Scarlet King. Description: SCP-001 is a massive unmanned military vessel constructed by the Three Moons Initiative, who interchangeably referred to it as Installation C9F and Vajranaya since its discovery. SCP-7578 has been anchored in Central Lake, Michigan at those coordinates. SCP-001 formerly acted as a thaumaturgical superweapon, specifically a runic projection cannon, fueled by an extra-dimensional substance known to the Three Moons Initiative as Graz. However, following Korbenek's severance from our dimension on December 17, 2047, SCP-001's Graz supply was cut off, rendering the cannon inoperable. However, on December 20th, 2047, SCP-001's cannon was revealed to be its secondary function. Its true purpose is to act as a hub for the Piper system in our reality, with the entirety of the vessel composed of Piper particles. Addendum 1. Memo from SCP-001 Strategic Advisor. To be honest, the information is something I knew for some time now, but I was hesitant about coming forward on the off chance that the Piper system would work. And if it didn't, we could all go down at least trying. And make no mistake, I am still supporting its use against the Seneschal's attempted conquest of Earth, but we must first understand the nature of our enemy. Yes, the Piper system has killed at least one god in a war between gods. The Seneschal is nothing so fragile as a god. He is the ambassador of a nebulous, indestructible idea, a vessel for the Scarlet King's essence. My late father, Dr. Robert Montauk, wrote much of the subject of how the Seneschal engages in war. He doesn't. The Seneschal doesn't fight. He has an inexhaustible supply of demonic soldiers for raiding and pillaging places he already calls his own. But war, as we understand it, two powers trying to destroy each other, that's something that the Seneschal considers metaphysically below him. By the time the Seneschal cycle enters the conversion phase, There is no longer a war to be fought. The victor is already decided. His presence in our world is a command. Any response to his actions, so long as it can be ideologically construed as a response with the seneschal as the casual agent, is an order we have taken from him as our master, a tacit admission of defeat, to be answered with a wave of unrelenting, incontrovertible acceptance. To accept defeat is self-explanatory. To ignore him is to surrender. To retreat is to agree to be hunted, and to fight back is to dance for him at gunpoint. I am not saying this battle is impossible. I am saying that we need to think about our next move with quintuple the usual caution. Dr. Randall Montauk. Addendum 2. Incident 20922-A-1. SCP-001 Usage Program Deliberations, Day 42, Partial Log. Location: SCP-001 Personal Headquarters, Conference Room 5. The date is February 1st, 2048. Time: 2016 CST. This audio transcript has been truncated for brevity. Mashad, Dr. Wynn, this is the 5th time you've suggested using SCP-001 to create a replica of the RMS Titanic, filling it with nuclear bombs, and dropping it over SCP-20922-A. That is not on the table. It will never be on the table. Have I made myself clear? Wynn, and you still haven't given me a good reason to reject it. Was I not clear about what impact weapons would have as a response? Yes, that's why we're picking the Titanic. We'll use the latent emotional weight against him in the physical realm. I need a drink. To be fair, you wouldn't be the only weapon being deployed against the exclusion zone. We've seen what the GOC's been doing since day one. If that's dancing for them at gunpoint, then that ship has sailed. Actually, it sank. Penny. No, really. They had a whole movie for it. Yes, a great deal of mundane weapons are being used to performatively fall against the Seneschal as we speak. But if we answer the tacit command of the Seneschal's presence using as a powerful metaphysical device as the Piper system, that could be a response sufficient to spread the exclusion zone across the world instantaneously. If any response, including an action, would trigger this, then why are we even having this meeting in the first place? I haven't ruled out the possibility that we could somehow trick the Seneschal, i.e. the proposed Lucerne program. Okay, that's like the 15th time we've brought up the Lucerne thingy and how much you're a fan of it. Is anyone going to tell me what it is? That's classified. Well, if I'm going to be giving the order to use it, I'd want to know what I'm giving the order for. You have not been given the clearance to use it. And yet, that's what you've been leaning towards this whole time. I've got a right to at least know if I'm secretly ordering genocide or slavery for appeasement purposes or something equally horrible. Just leave it, babe. Even if we decide to use it, I'm not implementing the Lucerne program unless someone tells me right now what it is. Mashad turns towards Henderson. Montauk turns towards Henderson. And Henderson sighs. Lucerne involves using a different item, also designated SCP-001, in conjunction with the Piper system to erase the Seneschal from existence. Oh. Another 001? Yeah. So, no genocide, no slavery, no doomsday devices? That's beyond your clearance level. But if I'm going to... It involves none of those things. I went above my clearance level and checked for you, Dr. Mashad. I take full responsibility. Maddie, you didn't have to do that. It's fine. I'll just issue amnestics when this is over. If I may. Oh, thank God, a professional. I thought they went extinct. As acting admin for the Piper system, the floor is yours, Scrungles. Please stop calling me that. Highsmith snaps her fingers under the table. A small cloud of Piper nanites covers Crunkle's name tag, slowly changing it to Scrungles. Let's say there were a way to use the nanites to create a dimensional interstice. Then we could use nuclear weapons at critical points in the Earth's upper atmosphere to spread Piper seeds to speed up the global transmutation process. Then direct the nanites to cover everything but SCP-20922-A. And then we rename ourselves Seneschal's Personal Handjob Brigade and start lining up with velvet gloves. Yeah, okay. Loving this plan already. Cut, print, take 5. We start production on Thursday. Everyone but SCP-20922-A backs away from the table. A translucent silhouette of SCP-20922-A sits at one end with his feet on the table. Okay. Y'all need to chill. This is just an astral projection. Just think of it like a hologram with a really nice ass. How long have you been there? I forgot. My bad. Anyway, since I'm here, any of you guys like Comic Christ? I've been getting into them recently. They sound like what would happen if an inkjet printer had a ginormous cock. All that like pweep, pweep, zzz, pweep, pweep. What do you want? Right. Well, I figured since y'all were having a meeting about trying to kill me or something, I figured you'd do well to know that there is a way to kill me. As if he'd ever tell us. Be quiet, Penny. Okay, I get it. You have no reason to trust me. It'd be kind of weird if you did, but I am incapable of lying. As evidence, I have not called any of you attractive. Seriously, though, if you've got that much of a murder boner for me, all you really need to do is get me to accept an unconditional gift. That's literally it. Like, if I accept someone's generosity, that's a tacit acknowledgement on my end of your superiority. Therefore, a total ideological subversion of the ideology that sustains my continued existence. TLDR, I am fucking terrified of Santa Claus. If this is true, why'd you come here to tell us your weakness? That's how he works. It's like, no one asked your ass, Randy. Sorry. It's okay, I still love you. But yeah, basically, it's in my best interest to give you the answers you've been searching for. And why is that? Excellent question, Scrungles. Sorry. 2 reasons. 1, now that you actually know how to defeat me, you'll never be able to, because every gift you're going to give me will be conditional. 2, simple economics. Now that I've been uncharacteristically generous, it means that when I'm done with the conversion, you guys are going to owe me so much shit. And 3, I didn't actually come here to tell you anything. I came to return this thing. Despite being incorporeal, he regurgitates SCP-8005 onto the table. Later, Goonies, do not let me catch your asses saying die. SCP-20922-A dematerializes. SCP-8005's body has been heavily damaged, but its wires begin to reconstitute. SCP-8005. Fortunately, he is not very good at knitting. Act 4. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Gregory, old bean, I've got good news. It would seem that our mutual friend Lucerne has quit her narration gig, which means I'm gainfully employed once more. Though, it's anyone's guess where she's gone off to. Anyway, back to the story. You've been sitting in the passenger seat of the Toad 1 for some time now. It's parked on the dirt road just outside the door of the Walmart. A small crowd is gathered around you, mostly student owls. They're all keeping a fair distance from you, mumbling in derision and worry. But as you lend a closer ear, you find that they're not gossiping about you. I thought Dean Toad swore never to touch that horrible thing again. When's a promise from him lasted longer than 5 minutes anyhow? Well, there goes every mailbox and lemonade stand in a 2-mile radius. How many times have we had to rebuild it now? Yeah, but come on, Toad's a sturdy bloke. He always comes out in one piece. Well, it'd be one thing if he crashed it again driving solo, but if he really means to have that Crinkletonian ride along with him... Mr. Toad's got a sick mind. Probably intends to use that poor Mousie as a cushion in an accident. Well, doesn't that just fill you with confidence? You're rudely jostled out of focus from a booming tenor at the back of the line. Oh! The world has held great heroes, as history books have showed, but no one's name goes down to fame compared to Mr. Toad. On he prances, parading through the crowd to the Toad One. He's got his goggles, his leather jacket, his scarf, all the trimmings and trappings you'd expect of an old world motorer. Back when they still called it a motor car, anyway. The lofty silver tower, in wastes of the north it stowed, an icy place most daren't face, except for Mr. Toad. He somersaults into the driver's seat, gives the horn 17 hearty pumps, and waves to the crowd for one last little stanza. My friend and I'll be going. Our progress will not be slowed. My skill with verse is getting worse, so, piss off. Exactly 2 members of his audience clap. Judging by his ecstatic reaction, that's an improvement. Gregory, my boy, I shan't wait any longer. Every second that Every second that driving this motor car eludes me is a precious second of my life I shan't ever get back. I think that's supposed to be precious. Let's be off at once. Yes, let's. He throws the lever back, and you cruise along at the single most boring, leisurely pace conceivable for miniature cars. It is the safest ride you've ever experienced in any vehicle whatsoever. The hat on your head doesn't shift a nanometer, save for a light gust from behind. As the motor car sensibly crawls out of the university village, you can hear distant cheering from the college, punctuated with joyful weeping. You can barely make out someone shrieking the word, finally. Well, a safe ride's one thing. On the other hand, Lucerne wanted this machine because it was fast enough to avoid the tower's defenses. And where is Lucerne, anyway? You glance over to Mr. Toad. He squints underneath his goggles as he keeps his eyes on the road. He snickers sardonically. Heh. The poor fucker's just reinvented the internal combustion engine, and the moment someone drives it safely, it's like he came back from war. I've been in this guy's memory, Gregory. True to the book, there's been property damage and injuries galore for Mr. Toad, and not a modicum of true accountability. Only more and more financial compensation. Mr. Toad, you sound different. The car turns a southern corner. The mid-afternoon sun is high the sky to your right. Indeed, I do. I wonder why that is. He nudges his head to the left. Have a peek over the side, Gregory. You look, Mr. Toad's shadow has the ears of a hare and the outline of a raggedy cloak. Oh, Lucerne, I was wondering where you went. Note, the driver's seat is on the left because the Toad One was originally a model of an American car. Ah. Wonder no more. I'm in Toad's head now. But why make the change? I have 4 reasons. 2 cosmetic and 2 crucial. 1, I can stretch my legs with all the empty space in here. Your head was so dreadfully jam-packed with all that common sense. 2, I was sick to death of narration. 3, there are exactly 2 people on this planet who know how to drive a car. One of them is me. One of them is Toad of Toad Hall. And going off my 2nd grade book report, I'd rather not have you impaled on the debris of a henhouse. And 4, I'm used to Honda Civics, whereas Toad's memories knew how to operate this kind of car. Wait, but you're controlling his body. You couldn't control mine. Didn't. Not couldn't. I've got Toad's consciousness running on reserve power in here. In all likelihood, when he wakes up after we're done, he'll think he had 1 drink too many and went on a bender. And considering his track record, I doubt he'd need to corroborate that. Besides, your mind is harder to override. Toad's an utter dipshit, whereas you're only a mere idiot. It's always one surprise after another with you. Where's our next stop? To further corroborate the whole always a surprise thing, your next stop is not, in fact, the Silver Tower, but a swamp hundreds of miles to the south of it. Onward, Lucerne drives, back through the Wispwood, and apart from a few suspicious glows in the distance, you avoid any more run-ins with the pixies. You nod off a few times on the way, because what else is there to do? By the time you reach the shore of the swamp, the sun has just set, but a lingering glow in the sky is still sufficient enough to spot the ground without a fire. The twilight flickers between the reeds in the marsh. Toad Lucerne, you're never going to get used to that, steps out with a few waves of her webbed right hand, a campsite, a fire, and a lovely little picnic from out of nothing. You follow her to the picnic blanket. We'll rest here for the night. Tomorrow's the day we storm the tower, so we'll need all the energy we can get. If you have any lingering questions, now would be a good time to ask. Are you sure it's safe here? You know, from pixies, beasted things, and the like? No. That's just the trouble with the beasting. There's nowhere truly safe, but we'll still need our rest, so we'll take turns sleeping. As for why I picked the swamp, the pixies generally avoid places like these. She sneers. Dainty little things, always fussing about what the smell would do to their complexion, or some other nonsense. Kindly tell me you've got a plan for tomorrow, because as it stands now, my stratagem involves asking Mr. Scarlet King to stop being such a silly ass in as wheedling and humble of a voice as possible, and both of us know that's not going anywhere but face first in the soup. And that's why you're not our tactician. As for my plan, it comes in two phases. She points to the motor car. Its red paint flickers orange, black, and yellow in the firelight. Phase 1. You'll take the wheel first thing in the morning, floor the gas, and drive us to the Silver Tower. I don't know how to drive. She gives you a good 5 minutes worth of Mr. Toad's 10-minute worth driving know-how. Congratulations, you are now grossly overqualified to drive for FedEx. Oh well, now I know, but I thought you were going to drive. And I'd love to. I drove you here, but I can't use my magic and drive at the same time. Basically, the ground out there is too treacherous to navigate by car, and I can't make a car fly, so how do you want me to explain what I'll do? Try the full unabridged version. It's like this. I'm going to use my backdoor password to trigger the Piper nanites to generate a series of aerial fixed 40 centimeter by 10 centimeter by 0.5 centimeter sheets of zinc to support the Toad One's path mid-flight, adjusting for trajectory and altitude. Following me so far? I think so. Are you saying you'll make a little road in the air underneath us? That's... Yes, actually, that's exactly it. Perhaps I haven't given your wits enough credit. She falls back, laying down, staring at the stars. Anyway, just leave the flying part of it to me. I'll make sure the path follows your steering. Just follow my directions to the letter. We'll be at the Silver Tower in no time. Whereupon I'll use my secret weapon to break through the defenses. And once we're there, that's where the reason comes in that I need a sniffings like yourself. What secret weapon? She looks at you like you just asked her for her droppings. If I could safely tell you without the tower picking it up and having us atomize, it wouldn't be secret. But rest assured, it'll keep us safe from the worst of it. Why do you need a sniffings? She extends her left hand, pantomiming opening a door handle in the sky above. There's only one door to the Silver Tower, and only a sniffings can open it. And once the door's open, the day is already ours. We can just saunter through and punt His Majesty, and he can't lift a finger to stop us. After all, the tower is designed to keep enemies out. Once they're in, he's completely defenseless. The king lives alone. No guards, no weapons, no magic. Pride goeth before a fall, and all that. Hang on, only my family can open the front door of the Silver Tower? What's so special about us? We're not ancient royalty, are we? She sighs. Gregory, I promised you answers for that kind of question at the end of the journey. If you want those answers, you've got to earn your keep. I think I've got the gist of it, but I reckon the most important part would be to get some sleep. My sentiments exactly. Good night, Gregory. You tip your hat to her and shuffle off to the tent. Go to sleep. Um, Go to sleep. Can I go to sleep, please? Is this sleeping? Am I sleeping right now? No. You've been staring at the ceiling of the tent for 2 hours. Oh, okay. Can I sleep then? No. Why not? You tell me. But you're part of my consciousness. You said so in Act 1. Yes, and you're asking this question to yourself. Which means neither of us know. But we still need to sleep. We're going to need all our strength for the next part of this adventure. So sleep! Can we? Truly? We spent our whole life in Crinkleton. If you never met this slightly insane hare, you'd have spent yesterday delivering the mail, tipping your hat, and maybe having tea with Mr. Horse in the Hole again. And tomorrow, you'll be going off to the Silver Tower to overthrow the cosmic government because Lucerne said that a demon in the old world usurped the goddess, and you haven't even bothered to get a second opinion. But Lucerne saved my life from a beasted piece of cheese. True, but that's not why you're helping her out. You're helping her because she promised you answers to dispel your anxieties. Oh, I see what's going on here. What's that? I'm thinking too much to sleep. Yes, you are. So nothing to it but to stop thinking. Yeah, like that's ever gonna happen. Please? After closing your eyes for a total of 5 minutes, the sun rises. You can hear Lucerne running around in front of the tent, breathing quickly. Gregory, get your ass out here. Pixies. Oh, pickled beetroots. Half asleep, you shamble blindly into the driver's seat. The morning sunlight stings your eyes. From a second look, it's not the morning sunlight, far from it. If anything, there's a 5 a.m. glow in the distant east, but it can only barely be seen behind the glaring pale light of a swarm of anywhere between 20 to 50 pixies. One speaks in a notably gentler voice than the one in the Wispwood. I would address Gregory Sniffings of Crinkleton. Listen carefully, Mr. Sniffings. Lucerne is lying to you. Her actions have resulted in the deaths of many innocent animals for reasons that, if you heard them, would make no sense. The motor's already running. You turn to Lucerne in the passenger seat. Her right hand gathers magical energy hanging off the side. Her left gestures aggressively towards the gas pedal. She whispers, now or never. Floor it. Your eyelids slam shut as your foot slams the pedal. Vroom! The wind buffets your face. You feel gravity pulling you backward as the car speeds upward. You look over the side. The northern horizon is far below you. Floating of metal disappear and reappear underneath the car as it speeds forward, magnetically binding the wheels to their surfaces. Lucerne cackles, giving the pixies below a webbed middle finger. She calls out in her best Mr. Toad voice, Cheerio, my dear backstabbing thundercunts, and a merry poop-poop to all. Tally-o! Your bowler hat flies off. Turn the car around and quickly grab your hat. You make a hard turn right, steering back down. Gregory? You can just barely see your hat plummeting helplessly toward the pixie swarm. You slam the gas pedal. Gregory! You snatch your hat just before it hits the ground and are immediately consumed by flame. Through their magic, the pixies summon multiple waves of superheated plasma. You don't even feel the heat or the pain. You simply fade to white. Keep driving. The pathway curves forward. Before too long, you're driving through the air, parallel to the ground. Lucerne groans as she strains to keep the floating path working. You're going faster than you'd ever gone in your life. The G-force practically flattens you against the back of the seat. Your mouse cheeks puff out like parachutes from the air slamming into your mouth. The red glow of pixies approaches from behind. Lucerne cries out, "We've got company! Evasive maneuvers!" We can You can hear plasma crackling from below. You have seconds to act. I still don't understand how the whole floating path thing works. I say this as the reader, not Gregory. Okay, you know that scene in The Wrong Trousers where Gromit's laying down the train tracks really quickly? That, but the track behind him also disappears. Oh, okay. Veer right. You veer right. A geyser of orange, superheated death shoots up from below to your left. It comes close enough to send your whiskers, but you're safe. Blinding red light surrounds you. The pixie swarm has caught up. Honk the horn so the pixies know to move out of your way. Honk honk, an ethereal response rings out through the heavens. Beep beep. What an intriguing conversation. Alas, they haven't budged. Hit the brakes for a moment to figure out a plan. You slam on the brakes and pause for a moment. What to do? Sadly, the pixies already know what to do. Through their magic, the pixies summon multiple waves of superheated plasma. Yep. Breakthrough. You're already going at top speed and they're still surrounding you, unless... Hey, Lucerne, can't this thing go any faster? You shout over the roaring engine. Hey, Lucerne, can't this thing go any faster? No! Oh, bugger. Could it go faster if you used magic? Gregory, I swear to... Hang on. Yes, it can. Good call. She slaps a web palm against the dashboard and yells heartily. Tally-ho! You can't feel your legs. You may or may not be having a heart attack, but hey, you're going twice as fast now. The pixies are flying in formation now, in front of you. Yeah, you're about to crash into a floating wall of pixies. Superheated energy gathers in front of each one. Hard left. You take the steering wheel and do your best impersonation of Robespierre with the French government. You yank it as far left as you can until it kills you. The turn sends the car tumbling off its latest patch of floating zinc. You twirl through the air, over the lower pixie's most recent wave of death beams, and collide with some of the higher pixies barreling through them. The car falls through the air for a short distance as you internally work out your last will and testament. Remember that you forgot a pen and paper, and then weep a little. Because now all your nice things will probably go to auction instead of becoming post-humanist birthday presents for Polly Twitchers. Wud. Lucerne generates another flying path under the wheels, and you're flying forth once again. The pixies above have to catch up, but it's inevitable. Damn it, Gregory, these guys are faster than I thought. I've got no choice. I'll have to throw a teleportation gate in front of the car. This spell is extremely unpredictable, but possible disaster is better than guaranteed failure, right? She holds in her left hand a tiny wad of dust and energy, sparkling with tiny arcs of electricity, and gets ready to throw it. Where should we go? Nothing too specific now, and I can't focus it enough to take us to the Silver Tower. A crowded place. They won't hurt us with so many witnesses. The southeastern resort town of Walruston, known in the old world as Charleston, South Carolina. A diamond of light wires forms over a seaside cobblestone road. As the car speeds through the diamond-shaped gateway, you take a quick glance around. You're in a time zone further to the east, so the sun has already risen. It's about 6 in the morning. There's a nip in the air. Gigantic brown and gray shapes flop alongside the sidewalk to their equally gigantic jobs. You're in Walruston. What rotten luck. This is a place that few Crinkletonians would ever have anything to do with. It's not a bad place, necessarily. They make such lovely strawberry wine, and the music scene is to die for. But it's just a sad fact that a field mouse is about the size of a walrus's eyeball. Therefore, a field mouse in Walraston has to walk 10 times as far to get anywhere, and the Titanic locals are liable to squish you through no fault of their own. Without a better idea, you keep driving. Lucerne pipes up. Shit, did I take us to Walrus Country? Give me a minute and I'll have another teleport ready. A little bell sounds from a street lamp at the intersection before you. It's a walrus crossing. A crowd of jiggling, blubbery masses charge forward along painted lines from the right. You're too late to steer around them from the left. Lucerne, drive us upward. The floating, magnetized pathway curves upward, and you're driving through the sky once more. Once you're horizontal again, you make a beeline over the rooftops for the north. After all, don't forget, you're still heading to the Silver Tower, you know. Something that very much isn't a bird flies into your path, a diamond shape much like Lucerne's gateways. It's a big yellow kite, no doubt flown by some walrus kid below. The kite smiles. It's been beasted. It's coming right for you from behind. Let's get it straight forward. You stay your present course. The kite gains on you. Its fangs come within a hair's breadth of snatching you up, but the peculiar thing about kites is that they're attached to strings, so like a guard hornet chained to its lawn, you're flying free once you fly farther than the string can take it. Okay, Gregory, teleport's good to go. What would be safest? Surprise me. The Tanuki Shogunate, known in the old world as Okinawa. Dashing past the gateway, you fly straight into a dense bamboo forest, which would be scenic and beautiful if each and every bamboo shoot didn't have crystal fangs. Fuck, Gregory, the whole forest's been beasted. Okay. We'll be safer on the ground. Take us down. The path takes you to the ground. The shoots are still in the process of bending to catch you. Thankfully, being at the floor of the forest, you're at a place that's difficult for the tops of the lofty shoots to reach without snapping. And other than a few spots where you need to weave around, it's a straight shot to the edge of the forest. This doesn't bode well, says Lucerne. If the beasting can reach us on the other side of the world, then the whole planet's on high alert. This chase is getting ridiculous. I can't promise this next teleport will take us directly to the tower, but at this point, we'd be no safer anywhere else. Try to teleport to the Silver Tower. Scroll down. Wah. Wah. Few animals have ever seen the holy Silver Tower for themselves. A veil of mist surrounding the ancient frozen lake of Michigan have led many to believe that this land is untouchably holy, a place where only the ever-piping goddess may tread. And while most animals who live near the edge of the lake are not so superstitious as to fear such a place, nor are they taking any chances. The legends claim it's 12 miles high. An exaggeration, perhaps, but it's certainly taller than anything else the Old Worlders have built. It looks like the result of a god reaching down from the sky, pinched into a pond of quicksilver, dragged it up to the heavens, and froze it in place. At the top, there's an ethereal, ever-twisting orb of metal, broadcasting a mysterious and invisible signal throughout the whole world. The pan flute symbol that some churches use adorns it. Below, a prison of jagged ice fixes the tower forever in place in the center of a mile-wide crater. As for you in Lucerne, you stand by the Toad One, taking your first look down from a cliff at the crater's edge. Turn to face Lucerne. Lucerne can tell you're looking at her, but her gaze never leaves the tower. She doesn't even blink. A stream of silent tears escapes her eyes. She finally breaks the silence. A great battle took place here, Gregory. I was there. I lost everything. Nod in understanding. Don't ask for elaboration. The metal walls of the tower suddenly resonate, vibrating like an eternal cosmic bell. The ice shakes underneath your feet from the low demonic tone. The tower speaks. Gregory Sniffings of Crinkleton. Please listen. It's still not too late to turn back. Lucerne has lied to you this whole time. The Scarlet King has no presence in our blessed world. Lucerne's true enemy is the goddess she wishes to usurp. You have been coaxed here with lies, and for what? Lucerne's true goal is to destroy all life on the earth. If you don't believe me, ask her where her name came from. You have shown great bravery in coming here, and if you turn back now, you will prove you have great wisdom to match it. If you still wish to come to the doors, your safety cannot be guaranteed. Think carefully about your next move, whatever you choose. Then, on behalf of the system's admin, all personnel of the Silver Tower wish you the best of luck. Yeah, well, I've got something to say, Tower. Very well. The tower will always hear the prayers of its children. Speak. Listen, Mr. and Mrs. Silver Tower people, you're wrong about me. I'm not brave. I'm not strong, wise, or anything worth writing home about. I'm a nervous wreck of a mail mouse who is roped into something miles above his pay grade. I know I'm nothing special, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to be a hero or anything legendary. I just want to live a nice, quiet life like everyone else, and maybe go on a little romantic picnic with Miss Polly Twitchers at some point. But even knowing that, Lucerne trusts me to see this job through to the end, and I will, because the first rule of the Code of Sniffings is to help others. But besides that, Lucerne's my friend. So, you listen to me, mean old Mr. Scarlet King. I'm going in that tower. I'm going to find you, and when I do, I'm going to give you a most severe talking to, while also waggling my cheese sword at you viciously, like this. Waggle your sword. Boogly, boogly, boogly. Ha! See? I'll fix you good. I am Gregory Sniffings of Crinkleton, slayer of cheese, champion against the beasting, he who forced the dragon of Walmart, he who faced the dragon of Walmart and lived, dauntless pilot of the Toad One, and by the whiskers on my face, I will make you severely uncomfortable. For Crinkleton! Following your speech, the tower is silent for a few seconds. When it speaks again, it's preceded by some microphone feedback. Hang on, Mr. Sniffings? We were trying to analyze whatever weird thing Lucerne was doing on the cliff, and we didn't catch that. Sorry, could you run that by us again? You feel a bit like a wet napkin. Suddenly, you hear Lucerne's voice from a cliff a few minutes jog to your right. Hey, goddess, looky what I've got. Looky what she's got. She holds above her head a black tablet. It's labeled with brightly colored writing, but you can't make it out from this distance. It says something along the lines of SD card. Without taking her eyes from the tower, she cries out, by the power of this summoning tablet and my backdoor admin password, I call upon the mystic power of the almighty guardian of treatable disease prevention. Representation. Come, lend me your strength, VCat. The tablet floats away from her hand slowly toward the sky. It explodes into a flash of pink light. Music fills the air from an unknown source. Oh my god. VCat. Nuru nuru kansen zanryo mono. Kyukyusha o yande kudasai. Ore wa tadashi hantai o yamaru. Studio Gynex, Gari wa doko desu ka? Doko desu ka? Nanatsu no VCat. You didn't think you'd be able to miss Mr. Toad's song, and yet, here we are. A massive pink cat, a quarter as long as the tower is tall, floats in the air over Lucerne with claws bared. A glittering rain of pink sparkles heralds its flight. It cries out in a voice that's somehow both terrifyingly bestial and annoying as shit. Niolo, Niello there, fellow creatures of the. Whoa there, hang on a sec. Looks at its paws. Holy shit in a sock. It's like I'm a cat boy minus the boy. What gives? VCat, I, Lucerne, have summoned you. And you, Lucerne, need to explain this fuckery to me like 5 minutes ago. Later. First, you have unfinished business. See that big silver tower? Yeah, what about it? The people in that tower gave Haruhi Haruhi Suzumiya the shingles vaccine. Okay. I will fucking murder them. VCat rockets forth through the air, a torrent of rainbows and sparkling versions of whatever this thing is. Shoots out of his ass, blasting him onto the tower. He assails the side of the holiest building on earth with a furious torrent of feline bappening. Liquid metal tentacles sprout from the tower's walls, trying to pry off the hissing pink abomination. While this thing is going on, Lucerne waves you down. She points to the tower and scream whispers, "They're distracted. Car, door, go, now." Get in the car and drive into the crater as fast as you can. Yoom! With you at the wheel, the Toad One bravely dashes off into the crater. This is probably a bad time to remember that this thing is meant to go off the side of a small cliff. You dive into the ice, going up in a fireball that smells vaguely of barbecued field mouse. Get in the car and drive into the crater slowly at first. The car veers off the edge of the cliff slowly, which, considering the word cliff was used here, is probably a good thing. Ooh boy, it's a straight shot to the tower door in the center, but also a downward slope. Close your eyes, Gregory. And the record, you have permission to scream the whole time. Oh, boiled kidney beans. Crank, clank, scrape. Lucerne, help me. Crash. Yeah. Clatter, 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 clatter. Clatter, 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 clatter. Oh, coffee and blueberry walnut biscuits with a cherry on top. I would rather not die, pretty please, and thank you kindly. Good evening to everyone in Crinkleton. Good lord, man, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? Bang, crunch, doink, plop. Everything hurts but your left forepaw. That's probably because you can't feel your left forepaw. You open your eyes. The Toad One is a flaming wreck at the base of the tower. Your right hand never let go of your cheese sword. The blade has snapped in half. Oh well, maybe it's sharper like this. The battle rages above you. VCat cries out in pain. There's a 45-degree slope leading to the tower's doorway. The path is paved with little ridges for any kind of animal to clamber up. Limp your way up. Your eyelids grow heavy as you drag your broken body up the slope. There's an explosion. VCat's no longer screaming. Thud. The ground shakes beneath you. Your distraction's down for the count. Hurry now, just a little further. Almost there. There's another explosion. Lucerne cries out in pain with Mr. Toad's voice. A bigger explosion. She cries out again in her own voice. No, no, I'll never go back. Total silence. Almost there. Just a little more. You're at the base of the door. It's tall enough for an elephant to walk through, but you're only a mouse. You drop the broken sword. Keep your eyelids open and touch the door. Touch the door. Come on, touch the door. Touch the door. Come on. You made it this far. Lucerne might still be alive. Touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Tap. Naismith family DNA signature detected. Access granted. The door opens. Oh. Well, there you go. That is the end of Act 4. I will see you guys in the next episode of Debhida Eulalie's O Fulbert 001 proposal. If you like the narration, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Each of those things take just moments of your day, but help me so much more than you could ever imagine. If you made it all the way through, thank you. Have a good day or night, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.